Hello everyone, this is Shosroy back again with World of Warships. Have another good show to show you today. In my Hosho, carried pretty hard in this match and pretty happy with the result. I didn't think we were going to win this one, honestly, but this really shows you what the Hosho can do. Fairly standard start on here. Fighters are going to come up first. I'm going to launch them first. And I don't know which way my fleet is going to go, so I pretty much sit still, which is going to be a factor in a minute, because I waited a bit too long to move. You need to move at least a little bit at the beginning just to get started, and otherwise bad things might happen to you. But I get all my planes in the air. And I always take mine to scout B, because it's a destroyer heaven. Actually, I wouldn't say heaven, it's just a nest of heaven. It's just a nest of destroyers. Destroyers always go there, because destroyers are good at taking objectives. That's really low tier, what they're really good at. They're good at high tiers, but at high tiers, let's say even mid tiers. About tier 4, they get to the point where they can snipe you pretty good if you go down the certain branches. So I like to light them up so that they can't sneak by. I'm sending my torpedo bombers up in the north while my fighters are down in the south, because the fighters are going to get spotted long before my bombers are. So hopefully I can draw some attention away from my bombers, because bombers are really fragile and my fighters aren't even all that great. But I set my fighters just to go off to the right and start covering our battleships. And I'm starting to prepare an attack run on this cruiser. And there I sent my bombers after my fighters, after enemy bombers. Started to line up this shot. You can see him starting to do some work. Line it up. Line it up. Looks pretty good, right? Looks pretty good. Try to catch him before he goes around the island. Nice looking drop right there. But he's too fast. I didn't judge it right. Completely whiff both my bombers. And I'm like, okay, what about oh. They're getting eaten up by fighters. All it takes is just a second or two of not paying attention to your fighters. And definitely in early Japanese carriers, your fighter's going to get eaten up. I'm not 100% sure on why I only shot down one of them, because as soon as their fighters engage mine disengaged from the bombers, but I shot down a good number of their bombers. And here, this is why you need to move at least a little bit, because starting up your engine in this situation, you're going to start it up too late, and you're not going to be able to take evasive maneuvers effectively. And that's a pretty nice spread coming in. Looks like a manual drop, though. I'm like, I'm going to take two. There's one, and woo! Dodged it. Just barely. No flooding. That's good. Cover my planes. Let's get moving. We have more planes in the... We have more ships in the north now. So I set my my course up here, but you can't see it due to replay. I don't know why it doesn't show my actions. It also doesn't show me lining up my shots. So it's going to look a bit confusing. But I set my course up there, and then I believe we're looking at a destroyer, and I'm sending my fighters over there to try to scout them out. Meanwhile, I'm getting my bombers ready to go again. I'll try not to waste my bombers on destroyers, because they're too hard to hit with torpedoes. And in low tier, they're even too hard to hit with dive bombers. Used to, you could take the American dive bombers and really put some accurate bombing down on destroyers. But now I've seen it where I line it up almost completely perfectly. Dead center in they're dead center in the firing range and completely miss. So Instead, we're going to leave the destroyers to our allies, put the fighters around where that destroyer was at, and then I'm going to take my bombers in on this battleship. Hopefully this time get a better result. Line it up a little bit differently. They're not stacked 100% together, so they're going to actually have staggered attack runs. And here I switched to the manual camera so I could zoom in, because I didn't do it when I actually had the footage. And this is a second recording. And that looks like a much better spread. And he's going to take 4, but it's not going to take that many, because one torpedo is going to detonate his magazine, and I get a devastating strike out of it. I did not see that coming at all. I just didn't expect that. I was... Well then, good for me. That's exactly what I thought. Like, that's just... Ugh. I'd hate to be that guy. But at the same time, I've been that guy. It's like, well, okay. It happens sometimes. You can get mad at it, or you can go back to port and play a different ship. And, here, I'm actually trying to figure out how to get back to the non-manual camera, the automatic camera, to see that would show you what I'm doing as I played the game. And I'm failing very hard, so I apologize for that. But I figure it out eventually. And I try to go save that guy. It doesn't work. I notice fighters are fighting in the middle, and my allies are not winning. But I get a couple kills on those bombers as they retreat back. And I'm like, oh look, more bombers. But I'm flying directly over enemy ships and say, well, it'd be better to take out the fighters, because they're the ones that are going to be harassing us later. Because at this point, I'm already pretty sure that they've won the skies. Plus, we're being 3-capped. Did I mention we're getting 3-capped? We are not gaining any points, and they are sinking ships. The enemy is sinking ships. And now it gets worse. There's a destroyer right next to both of us carriers. So I'm like, well, I gotta attack the destroyer. I don't like attacking destroyers with bombers. Just, it's too hard to hit them. But I manual drop, trying to hit him from 2 directions at once. And he starts to turn. It's like, oh, well, he's probably gonna avoid him. Nope. And it doesn't even waste my other drop, which I was really surprised and thankful for. But he turned, and he didn't cut his speed. He just turned and cut rudder, and he just went nose in right to one of my torpedoes. So he even says, "Nice spread." I didn't have the heart to tell him that I just I automatic dropped that. You know, I didn't make that spread at all. That was just the game. But this is where I realized, hey, we're being 3-capped. I need to actually get in the cap circle as a carrier. So here also, I also tell him that you had me scared spitless. Like, I was super scared. And then I'm like, oh, where are my fighters? Oh, right. Not paying attention to your fighters again. And now you lose them. My fighters just can't fight worth a dang. I equipped all the stuff to help my fighters out. I really do. Like the plus 10%. For every level they're under, the other boost that I can put on them. It's not enough. And here I'm going to try a tactic where I hope that he's going to continue to turn into me, thinking that I'm going to drop closer. But he sees it. He sees what's happening, and instead he turns out and goes more along his own course, and so those all miss. But I was hoping he'd go towards me, and the thing about Japanese torpedo bombers, whenever they come in, their formation makes that cone, and it actually homes in closer to each other till it reaches the end. So I was hoping he would continue on, and that they would kind of home in on him, and get some hits on him from the front that way. But whiffed it. And now I'm out of fighters, and I just have my torpedo bombers. So, let's see what kind of fun we can have. Hopefully the enemy planes don't knock mine out, because it's just super annoying to be completely out of the sky. Right as I was thinking that destroyer, our other carrier, was complaining that one of our destroyers didn't come back to help us. And this is where I make a mistake. As you can see in the chat, I actually announced my plans to go after the enemy carrier, because they followed my other set of planes back up to the actual ship, and both of them have their fighters there. So we're gonna get a shot at taking out one of these guys. Now he just I'm pretty sure he just dropped bombs on him and he put the fire out. So now his recovery should be on cooldown. So let's see what kind of damage we can do. And their fighters are just too late. Just too late. And we got a pretty good hammer, pretty good spread going on between both of us. He gets hit once by them, gets hit once by me. Mine causes flooding. He is now flooding uncontrollably. And that's unfortunate for him. But I've had a couple games now where the American Tier 9 carrier did that to me in my Tier 7 battleship. And I went from like just a little bit under half to dead before I could stop the flooding. Flooding is mean. Flooding is bad. If you're on fire and there are torpedo bombers coming towards you, just stay on fire. Honestly. But now it's time for a bit of vengeance. A bit of redemption, I should say. This poor guy hasn't done anything to me all game. But I need some redemption. We're about to lose. They're just about at 900. And this is what I should have done. I should have come up behind him and made it so that he couldn't move. There's the carrier. The carrier sunk because of flooding. And this guy, I caught him from behind. He can't maneuver well enough, and I take him out from behind. That gives me a double strike. And that is actually the second one I've got this week. Once, one of them was in my Nassau, where I sunk two ships that were on. One was on the left in the front, and one was on the right. And because of the way the turrets are aligned, I could do that. So, happy with that result. We've captured A now, but I was still not confident of going south until that battleship was out of the way. And now that one of the carriers is down, we're gonna have like a really hard time using one thing of fighters to take out both me and the friendly Langley planes coming in. But I see a target of opportunity. We still are behind on points. They're still doing better than us. And I zoom in on this guy for one reason and one reason only. This guy is what ends up being my co-hero in this match, because I'm going to sink 5 and he's going to sink 5. And I didn't see him doing this whenever I got my torpedoes coming in. So I launched my torpedoes at this AFK guy to kill him, and he had already done it. So I kind of wasted my spread. No, I didn't kind of waste my spread. I really just wasted my spread, because he got it just a second or two before I did. But now he's got an even more important mission, and that is to assassinate the remaining carrier. But I've recovered one of my planes, and they're on the way back. It's at this point I'm wondering, should I leave the carrier to him, or should I go after the remaining battleship? Now, those fighters that are near me, coincidentally, are the carrier who is still alive. And so my planes just start retreating. You just look at this guy. He read it perfectly. and evaded. And here again, you'll see him do it. He's tracking those planes and just whoop right through the torpedoes. You're not getting this guy. And now I'm spotted by aircraft because the fighters are after my bombers. I think they actually kill them all before they land. But I figured I'd show you this guy just because he dodged so many torpedoes here at the end, and it really took the pressure off of me. Now the guy is still controlling his fighters, but all it is a waiting game for me. I continually pop out my bombers and swing them back around, so the guy is basically wasting his time. I'm kind of wasting mine by not being able to go after the remaining battleship. But this is pretty much it for this carrier. There's not much he can do. He can recover his planes. I don't know if he's on fire or not, but he's getting hit. And actually, his secondaries are firing, trying to take out the destroyer, which could have been bad. But this is what's going on with me. I've been recalling my planes and just trying to get my anti-aircraft to. He actually got 2 of mine there because he did a strafe run instead of straight up attacking them. But at this point, I'm just waiting for the carrier to go. And there it goes. And that is the destroyer's Kraken Unleashed. He's killed 5 enemies. And I'm here sitting on 4. And didn't even think about it whenever I was in the match. But see this guy's planes? Like, how they're like aimlessly wandering now? It's like they've lost their orders. So I'm like, cool, I'll just fly past them. No problem. And look, they don't engage. Then, Now wait a minute. Now they're engaging me. What? Why are they engaging me now? The guy didn't have orders and he's dead, so you can't give orders when they're dead. But here he is. He's attacking my planes. Super confused. And then they broke off. So maybe they ran out of ammo? No, here they come again. What is going on? I'm so confused. Is the guy dead or not? But this is the last guy. This is this will actually be the final drop. So that spread is going in narrow like that. The other one is actually going super wide because the fighters, which actually works out to my favor because I hit him really hard right there, and then he just keeps going and he tries to nose out of it, but I actually hit him right in the nose for 1 more, and that certainly causes flooding. And I guess he was already out of repair because this is the end. He doesn't repair and he floods to death. So not only did that destroyer get battle accolades and Kraken Unleashed, I got Kraken Unleashed, double strike, devastating strike with a detonation. So yeah, between the 2 of us, we were responsible for the death of 10 enemies. And here's the scores. Oh, it's only 99,647 damage. Nah, nothing big. Good lord. I was very, very happy. I thought we were going to lose. At the end there, I didn't mention this when I was doing it, I also went to the B cap, and we captured that. So I got 2 capture points in the in an aircraft carrier. But here's the team scores. Second highest in experience is me. That the destroyer rightfully gets the most experience. And our Langley didn't do too bad. And our team overall didn't do too bad. They just weren't good at taking the objectives. They were really just letting the enemy have them. And it wasn't until we started getting kills and I captured the bases that we had a secure win. And just look at the numbers. The numbers of how much damage I did. That was the detonation, that first guy. And it's just, when I was looking at this screen, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that I did this much damage. And that guy in the destroyer. I think it's a Derksi. He did even more damage than me. He got Top Gun, or not Top Gun, High Caliber. But that's it for this one. There's the last little bit, my experience and credits build up. But I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed playing this match. It was high stakes, stressful, but we pulled it out in the end, and it makes me really happy. But this has been Shosroy, signing out, and see you later.